Hi, welcome back to Crafting with Nikki. Today I've got 5 great tips for you on selling SVG files. I did a video, I'll put a link somewhere, on where you can sell SVG files. Sorry, my cat keeps jumping up on the table. So if you want to check out that video after this one or before this one, it'll let you know where you can buy or where you can sell your SVG files. This one I'm going to just do a couple of great little tips on how to sell them, how to package them, so we will get started. The 5 tips I've got for you today include what software to use. We are also going to go over designing, we're going to go over packaging and displaying, we're going to go over pricing, and we're going to go over, last but not least, bundles. And bundles are a great thing. We will get into that at the last part of this video. So, we will get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to go over is software. There are a lot of great softwares out there that you can use to create your SVGs. The best of the best is, of course, Illustrator. That one does come at a little bit of a hefty price. You can get the whole Creative Cloud by Adobe for $49 a month. There is a student discount if you're a student, but you'll just check into that. There is also an option where you can just get just the one that you need instead of getting all the different apps that they offer. I think it is $29.99 a month for just the one software. There's another one that I currently am using, Affinity. That one is $39.99. They do have one available. They did just release the iPad version. I don't have that one right now, but they do offer the Affinity Designer on the iPad. The last one that I know about is Inkscape. This one's free. It's not quite as intricate and is a little, I'm not sure, I have it on my computer just to kind of see if in case I need it. But Inkscape, I don't really design in it. I use it so when I draw on my iPad, I can import it in there and create the outline that I put into Affinity. Because Affinity at this time does not have like an outline creator. The last one that you could use is the iPad. I went over this on how to create SVGs with your Procreate app in your iPad. But the iPad is a great addition to creating SVGs. Alright, the next thing we're going to go over, number 2, is design. When you're designing your SVGs, you want to make sure that they look clean. They are 100% your designs. You don't want to copy anyone. You don't want to have any copyright infringement, like don't do Disney, or stay away from files that, like, don't do Mickey Mouse ones. There are several stores that sell those on like Etsy, but at the end of the day, they're not your designs and you don't have the right to sell them. You also want to make sure when you're designing, let me pull up my store real quick. You also want to make sure when you're designing that they look clean, they'd be easy to cut, easy to use, and that they, like I said, they are your designs. You want to make sure that they kind of go with, when you're designing, create a schedule. I try to focus on one thing at a time. Like right now, I'm starting on my Christmas files. I know, it's August, and I'm already starting on Christmas files. I've been blaring Christmas playlist on Spotify all week, trying to get me in the Christmas mood because it's 95 degrees outside here in Oklahoma. So, like I said, I've already got all my fall ones up. You want to create a schedule that works for you, so that way you can get them up, because crafters, they normally are using these to sell on their products that they create for other people. And so you want to make sure that you get it up early enough for them to be able to be like, okay, I want to use this one, and sometimes they'll just buy a bunch of them. But designing, create a schedule, make sure they're your designs, and make sure that they look really nice. The next thing we're going to do is packaging and display. Alright, so that brings me to number 3, which is packaging and displaying your SVGs. When you are exporting your files for SVGs, you want to make sure, when you are packaging your SVGs, you want to be sure that you've got all the files that your customer might need. Currently, right now, I export as an SVG, of course. I also do PNG, JPEG, PDF, and then if I have my Illustrator file, then I do export it as DXF, because DXF they'll be able to use in Cameo and Silhouette. Because the different softwares require different file requirements. For Cricut, SVG is the best though. So that brings us to displaying. When you create your file, you want to make sure that your files have a uniform look in your store. Currently right now, I've created a template in Affinity, so anytime I'm done with a file and I've got it all exported, I've checked it on Cricut to make sure that it uploads okay. I create the display that I'm going to use in my store, and I've got a couple different ones. This one is just the basic one that you're going to see what the design looks like. It'll tell you a couple of the files that you're going to get. It's got my logo so you know who made it. And then you also might want to do a couple of mock-ups. Mock-ups are a great thing to show your customer what it's going to look like on an item. I do just a couple of different ones. I do t-shirts because t-shirts are really big. When using SVGs, a lot of, moms that stay at home love crafting for their kids. They want their shirts to be, unique and kind of custom to them. And so I put them on like a quick little shirt mock-up. You can also create your own mock-ups in a couple different softwares, but that's a whole nother video. And then the last one that I do on some of them is just like a little tote bag, just to see, because some people want to create their own cute little tote bags. That'll at least show the customer a few different options on what it's going to look like on an item. So those are packaging and displaying. Brings us to tip number 4, which is pricing. When you're pricing your item, you don't want to underestimate yourself. I know as a newbie, when I first started, I wanted to have a real competitive price, because I was like, that'll get me sales, that'll get me, that'll get me exposure. As my sales grow, my designs will get better. And what that ended up doing, alright, tip number 4, pricing. As I was saying, you don't want to underestimate yourself. You want to make sure that, you're going to make your money back. You want to make sure that you're going to make your money back. And you don't want to underestimate yourself. And sometimes when you price your things too low, what happens is the customer thinks, ooh, they don't have great confidence in their self and their designs must be crappy. When that isn't the case at all. You just are thinking, I'm new, so I'm gonna offer these great prices. And really what it does is it makes the customer think that you don't think you're great when you know you are. So always want to make sure that you price things, at a decent price. Right now, most SVGs online are going anywhere from $290 to $325. There's a couple that are a little more expensive depending on what kind of SVGs they are, but for the most part, SVGs run about anywhere from $2 to $3, somewhere in between there. Bring us into tip number 5. We made it to the bottom of the list, which are bundles. Bundles are great because you can offer a large selection of your items at a really great price for the customer. I know I was just saying you don't want to price things too low, but sometimes a customer wants to buy a whole bunch of your items, but buying them at the high price isn't going to offer. Bundles are a great way to offer a discount without reducing all your prices. So when I create my own bundles on my stores, It's usually like fall ones, like my fall bundle. I've got 10 or 12 designs in there, and I just bumped them all down to $1 a piece. So when you purchase the bundle, it's $10 and you get 10 great designs. Another great thing about bundles is some stores like the Hungry JPEG craft bundles and font bundles and design bundles, they will offer, they'll email you if you have a store with them, and they'll be like, hey, we love these designs, we want to put them in a bundle that we're offering, you know, for X amount of time, and we'll offer you X amount of money or a certain percentage of each of the total sales of the bundle. So those are a great way to earn a lot of money in a short amount of time with just one or two of your items. And another great thing about bundles is, you know, the customer may not be buying your item specifically. Maybe they like the fonts that come with the bundle, and so they are purchasing this bundle because they want to get that great font. So like I was saying, they are going to purchase that bundle because they want all those great fonts, and then you're going to get paid because they wanted those great fonts. And so that is how I actually ended up purchasing my iPad and my Apple Pencil. I was in a bundle, I had one item in there, and it ran for a little over a month. But I was able to earn enough money from the sales that from just my one little item that was in there, I was able to earn enough money to purchase this big purchase ticket item that I probably wouldn't have been able to afford for another year with just saving from my monthly sales. Those are the 5 great tips that I have. If you guys have a store, go ahead and leave that link down below. Let me check out your guys' stuff. I always love supporting other artists too. I will say I started really selling SVGs this year. Last year when I opened my Etsy store, I just had the Etsy store and I was not making any money. So don't be discouraged if you open your store and it's really slow out the get-go. Once you start making sales, you will start making sales. Just make sure you keep continually adding new things that are great quality for your customer. Your customers will come back. They will refer you. So don't be discouraged if when you start doing this, it's not panning out all the way. I'd say at least give it a year and a half. You know, don't invest a whole bunch if it's putting a strain on you, but don't give up. You'll get there. I'm starting to just now kind of experience like, oh man, this is really worth all this time that I've put in here, because I hit such a creative block last year because I was putting all this time and effort into this store and nothing was happening. But don't give up. You guys will get there. Like I said, if you guys want to leave a link to your stuff below, go ahead and do that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!